Hello everyone. Today we are going to be going over how to submit the extension request form. Previously, you would have to download the PDF, fill it out, and then email it to someone from our team. However, now instead of downloading the PDF from our website, we've integrated it into PowerClerk so that we are able to have hopefully a more seamless transition and just to have everything in one place rather than emailing a bunch of documents back and forth. So hopefully this will be really helpful. I'm going to show you how to walk through it. And yeah, so to get started, we'll click apply/login on our website, calsoma.org. And then you can click returning users. I'm going to be working in SDG&E territory. So I'm going to click this and then click login, and it'll prompt you to log in on our PowerClerk homepage. And then from there, you should see this home screen where it shows you all of your projects. I'm going to be working in this one. So you just click view edit project, and then it'll show you what status you're in. Currently, we only accept reservation extension requests for projects that are in proof of project milestone approved, progress payment milestones, or overdue incentive claim. If you need an extension and you're not in one of those specific milestones, please contact someone from the SOMAH PA and we will work with you. But as you can see, we are in proof of project milestone approved, so we can go and use the extension request form in PowerClerk. If you're not in proof of project milestone approved, any of the progress payment milestones or incentive claim overdue status, this form will not pop up for you. Like I said, please contact someone from our team if that is the case. But since it does pop up, we'll just start here. And I already opened it, so it says continue and view, but if you haven't opened it, it should say begin. So I'll just continue. As you can see here, it has a couple of fields at the top. This field should populate with data if you have filled it in for, I didn't fill it in the previous milestone, so that's why it's empty. But this should populate with data, and then the service account number and interconnection reference number. If you have those numbers, please fill them in. If not, it's okay. You can just move forward and fill them in once you do have them. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that we're in our first extension request section. So for the first field, super easy, just put in the date that you are submitting it. So today is the 21st, so I clicked this date. And then next, it'll give you a couple of options. So there's 5 checkboxes, and you can just choose whichever one applies to you. So a lot of these are just popular reasons that we get extension requests, but if it doesn't apply, you can click other and then explain what the reason is down here. But the first one is that there were circumstances beyond the control of the reservation holder that prevented the system from being installed as described in the reservation request package. And then it'll list the documentation needed, which is the supporting document substantiating why the extension is needed, and then cost documentation demonstrating that the system purchaser has incurred at least 50% of the reserved system's total purchase price. So that second sentence here about the cost documentation, regardless of whichever reason you choose, that is always going to be required because we want to know that you've at least started construction and have incurred some costs towards your project before asking for an extension. So that's always going to be needed. But any additional documentation can vary depending on your reason. So that's the first one. The second one is if there is any issue in the permitting process, which has delayed, obviously, your construction. So same thing, you'll need that cost documentation showing the 50% incurred costs or more. And then any documentation showing some correspondence with either the building department, interconnection department, any sort of like email chain, or just any documents showing that there's an issue that caused some delays. And then the third one, contractor's license becomes suspended and the applicant must find another contractor. Of course, if you need another contractor, we understand that you need a little more time. So no cost documentation necessarily needed here, just because, you know, if their license got suspended, then we would just need to see that their license is suspended. And of course, we would understand that that is why you have not met the deadline. So that is there. The next one is defective panels. So we'll just need some photos of the defective panels. It doesn't say it, but if you have cost documentation, that's fine. We would totally accept that. Or like any invoices of the fact that you need to replace the panels. Anything that just shows that that's the case would be really helpful. And then other, just documentation similar to the first issue as to why the extension is needed, and then documentation showing that you've incurred at least 50% of the total purchase price. And then you can explain a little further here if your reason is other. So I'm just going to go with the first one, which is where the circumstances were beyond the control of the reservation holder that prevented the system from being installed as described. So next, you will just choose your requested extension. So however many days you think you will need in addition to your due date. So if my due date was today and I needed an extra, let's just say like 10 days, then it would be due on December 31st. So you just choose the requested number of days up to 180. So you can request 180. If you go over, I don't think PowerClerk will let you. So for example, I put 210 here. You have to enter a value less than or equal to 180. So please stay within that boundary. I'll just choose 180. And then for updated construction start date, so originally you most likely have put in a start date, but obviously if you needed an extension, that might have changed. So just please put your best guess if you're not sure yet, or if you did actually have an actual construction start date, put that date in. I'm just gonna put January 1st and I'm gonna click projected. If you started earlier, and you just needed an extension for something, you can put in your actual date and then check the actual box. And then here for required documentation, you'll first have to just provide an explanation as to why you need the extension. So you chose a reason here, just please elaborate on it. So I chose circumstances beyond the control of the reservation holder. So let's just say that maybe I was about to start construction and then realized that one of my buildings needed a roofing upgrade or something. So building needed roofing upgrade before start of construction. And then here you will upload any supporting documentation. So this first one, you will have to upload cost documentation for most of these reasons, except the suspended contractor's license and the defective panels. So I will upload a document here. And then here below, we have an additional spot if you have any additional documentation. For example, if you had a problem in the permitting process, I would upload any correspondence with the building department or the interconnection department, any email chains or screenshots of maybe the interconnection portal. Since I'm doing building needed roofing upgrade, I could upload any sort of documentation that would help substantiate that. And then here, for extension decision, this is a field that we are going to fill out. So all you have to do after you fill out your reasons, requested extension, updated construction start dates, and then supporting documentations and reasons, you'll be good to go. You just submit, and then our team will receive a notification. And then once we review it, we'll get back to you if there's any corrections needed, or if it's approved, then we will go in, update the due date, let you know that it's been approved, and then we can move forward. And then if you have any additional extension requests that may be needed, the correct field should pop up appropriately once we've reviewed the first one. And if they're not, please contact someone from our team, but otherwise, hopefully this is a quicker way of doing the extension request. Thank you.